My girlfriend dumped me 4 days ago. Our relationship has been rocky since we moved to a new country. I was having a hard time finding a job, and I didn't get into the school that I wanted to go to. But my career has been good in my home country, and I am currently working on my third college degree. I was having a rough time financially and mentally, but I have good savings, which I used to pay rent and all food for our apartment, including 3 months when she couldn't afford to pay her half. We have been through a lot and have broken up before. After she told me about this guy that she used to date who probably still had feelings for her, which was going to be at this party her friend was throwing. I said it would be no problem. She said that she wouldn't talk to him at the party, and I again said that it didn't matter. Come party, she had disappeared for half an hour while I was mingling. I look for her, and she is talking to the same guy in the doorway, just the two of them. I walk up to them to join the conversation, but when I asked what they were talking about, I got weird, convoluted facial expressions from both of them, like I was the weird dude at the party, and they chuckled and said nothing. That facial expression and response from my girlfriend hurt me, and I left, took a taxi to our apartment, and asked her why she disappeared for half an hour and was found talking to him, and we started to fight. After I got home, I had 3 more beers and was feeling inebriated, and she said that she was going to stay at her friend's place for the night. I said fine, then I am going home to my aunt's, and said that I'd had enough of her, but instead I cried in our bed. She slept with him that night and came home. We were both worked up and both had hangovers and broke up. I found out that she slept with him 3 days after, as I was saying sorry for my behavior and wanted to make it up to her, and she told me about it, and I left. 6 months later, she messaged me telling me how sorry she was, and because I was still thinking about her, I agreed to meet her in a controlled setting. She told me how sorry she was and that she would want to be friends. We both forgave each other, and one thing led to another, and we started living together again. I felt that I treated her with love these past few months, not as much as I definitely should have, but wanted to. I was depressed over my situation, but every time she came home from school and work, we held each other and watched movies, and I would always cook for her every time she was hungry. She had the prettiest smile and could comfort me like no other, but recently she had felt that I wasn't giving her enough, and especially in the bedroom, she wants me exclusively to take initiative, but doesn't do much herself. But I haven't been feeling up to it. I have gained weight and I struggled with my self-esteem. She doesn't like to talk deeply about her feelings, but rather in messages and short comments. But if she had communicated her problems well towards me, it would not be anything that I was not willing to fix. I know it is my responsibility to hear these messages from her, but I couldn't help her as much as I wanted to, as I was struggling myself, and didn't receive much help from her. We both have emotional problems, as you may see, but we have always worked through it together, and I have helped her getting to know herself a lot, convinced her to go on depression medication, which worked well in her opinion, convinced her to move with me to a new country to explore new things, and start school again after a long break. I asked her about her day, and we did fun things together. I cooked every meal for her, and I bought her expensive gifts, as well as thoughtful ones. Of course, I was sometimes worried about her, but she seemed to be doing great in her new school and her new job with her new friends. In the school, she met a guy and they became friends. She was hanging out with him maybe once every couple weeks, but talked on social media a lot. I met him and his girlfriend a couple times and they seemed fine. Until she asked me, when me and my friend are alone watching RuPaul's Drag Race, does that bother you? And I said no, and we laughed at how far we'd come and how much trust there was in the relationship. I started to think about how weirdly worded it was, but I shrugged it off. Then she started lashing out when drinking. I caught her giving guys her Snapchat, Instagram, and phone number, and we had a serious talk about it. I again shrugged it off as attention-seeking, but was still hurt, and she promised to make it up to me. Then we went for a couple of beers and had a great time, but on the way home we stopped at a 7-Eleven's and I was paying with coins and was handing it to the clerk when she cut in front of me and wanted assistance. I said, "Relax, babe," and she was furious. We went home on the bus and she started pouring insults over me but stopped and said, "If you tell me how fucking horrible you are, I'll suck your dick." I, of course, did not take kindly to that and told her that I would not be talking to her the rest of the night and she should go to sleep. I did not talk to her while she was on a rant, pouring even more insults over me. She woke up the next day and bought me flowers. 10 days or so later, she says she is going to her friend's place to watch RuPaul's Drag Race. I said no problem, but she was gone for a long time, and as she was used to go to sleep around 2000 hours, I was beginning to worry about her at 2100 hours and tried calling her, but she wouldn't pick up. I called her 4 times over the course of an hour, and she wrote to me that she had fallen asleep and was coming home. I had become very worried, and she didn't come home till 23:30, and I said that this sounds very suspicious and was angry over being so worried about her and she not picking up her phone. She said she was sorry, but she only fell asleep. A couple of hours later, I was really stressed out and scared. So I did something that I am not proud of. I went through her phone. What I found was a deleted Insta chat history between him and her, and unsent messages from FB. I was sweating out of stress and couldn't sleep well. A couple of days later, she broke up with me. She was willing to explain fully why she was breaking up with me, just saying that it was over and that she didn't have as much interest in me anymore. I was positive that something more was going on, and I kept pushing and she kept withdrawing. I then broke down and she said that I should go see some friends and stop talking. Later, I kept my calm and talked to her, just trying to comprehend the situation and what was the straw that broke the camel's back. Her friend that she met 5 months ago had been texting her a lot, and I assumed he was comforting her, but it was more than that. I kept pushing again and asking if she and her friend were something more, but keeping my calm, and she picked up the phone and told her sister that I was harassing her, wouldn't leave her alone, and was going crazy, then put on speaker and held the phone in front of her. They wanted me out of the apartment, and I said that I was going to be part of this conversation. I left the room and closed the door, and after half an hour I came back again and asked if she had finished talking to her sister. She said no, and I should leave. I said I was leaving to stay elsewhere than on the couch, but I did go outside for a walk so she could go to sleep. Then I said I love you. They said that if I loved her I would leave. I went for a walk and came back and slept on the couch. I felt villainized, but most of all confused. She later sent me a text message explaining herself, saying that she loved me so much and how much I've helped her. She said that she had been on a binge drinking all day and that she wasn't thinking about anything else than to be with herself and her feelings, and she has talked to her friend and told him the same. She was going to a hotel until I leave so she could gather her feelings for herself. Tonight, I found out that she had lied to me and was not working on herself to get her feelings straight like she said. She had instead ordered a hotel room for 2 people and ordered food on Wolt for 2 while I was crying in our bed, waiting for my flight home. Maybe most relationships end worse after reconnecting from a breakup. Or maybe I'm just a fool. I love her so much, and was always willing to work through every problem that we had. I am a fool who is deeply in love with someone he should not be. I am currently shaking, overcome with emotions, and again crying in our bed writing this post, packing up my stuff, and going to my home country to be with family. Sorry for rambling, but I had to get this out of my system.